Barry, is there a way that we know we're ready and we've saved enough money?
Well, there's certainly a way to know whether or not you've saved enough money. I'll let your psychoanalyst figure out for sure whether you're ready, although I can help you with that too.
Psychologically,
Because that's a whole another part of it. But to know whether or not you're ready financially, Ralph, is unquestionably just a matter of doing a retirement income analysis. It shows how much money you'll need in retirement after taxes. A lot of people don't think about that little piece of it. For each year that you're going to be retired, we say all the way to age 100. It will take into account inflation and the rising cost of living, and that's how we figure out for sure that you're not going to run out of money in your lifetime. It's really just a big math question, but you have to know how to think about it first, and we do this several times a week for different clients of ours. So when you see your numbers, it's really a big relief to know that you can retire and stay retired until you're 100 years old. And that's what we do for folks at the WealthCare Corporation.
Yes, indeed. Barry and I have talked on our radio show about looking through the rear view mirror, looking out the back window at where you've been, and looking out the windshield at where you're going, having that clear highway ahead, having a road map, which we'll talk about as well. When you're looking through the windshield at how you want your retirement to look. When we get to be at home, though, and are sitting on the porch and sitting on the porch money, Barry, how do you tell clients with sitting on the porch money whether they ought to be ready to retire?
Well, the idea of retirement, Ralph, is you don't have to any longer get up with the first crow of the rooster and head off to the salt mine. You can sleep until you wake and then take your cup of coffee and sit on the porch and sit there just as long as you want. Now, most people don't want to spend a lot of time sitting on the porch, but wouldn't it be nice to know that you could sit on the porch all day, just sit on the porch, if that's what you wanted to do? But there's a problem with that, and it's simply this. When you sit on the porch, your bills don't stop. The electric meter continues to run, and all your other utilities, and your insurance has to be paid, and somebody's got to pay the people who take care of the lawn and buy gifts for their grandkids and keep their refrigerator stocked. So the question, Ralph, is how much money do you need deposited into your bank account each month to pay all your bills in retirement? That is your sitting on the porch number.
That's something we talk about a lot, and you can talk about the SOTP. You're sitting on the porch money with Barry when you call him at the number you see here. What are some of the factors, Barry, that pop up the orange cones that force a detour for us in retirement?
Well, the question is how long you're going to be retired. Another way to ask that is when are you going to die, but it's a lot more fun to talk about how long you plan to be retired. You know, my grandfather died when he was 65 years old. His son, my dad, is still living an active, engaged life at 81. And I just got done with a comprehensive physical examination just a month or so ago that included about an hour and a half in the MRI machine. They examined me at the cellular level, and then they came back and said, "Hey, Barry, you're pretty good, better than we expected. Only a couple of things to even watch for." So there's every reason to believe I could live into my 90s. You could too. With better health care and the increased focus on wellness that we frankly didn't get when we were kids, we should plan on living longer than any generation before us. And at WealthCare, we just automatically, by default, set that plan to age 100, unless someone tells us it even needs to go longer than that, and some people say it does. So living longer means our retirement savings have to last longer, and that can be a problem. But here's the good news, Ralph. It's possible to plan for an income that you can't outlive. In some cases, income that is guaranteed for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live.
Barry, we may in our retirement have the sign pop up, road closed. And how do we plan for the detours in retirement? How do you help us do that?
Well, half of us who are married have a detour coming, Ralph. That's going to be the death of a spouse. A few of us will get to die together, although Kelly and I both pray that God will allow us to go to heaven together. And by the way, that's just where we are going. We know that because of what Jesus did for us on the cross to pay for our sins. And truthfully, if somebody watching the show today doesn't know that, but they'd like to, I would love to help them have that kind of assurance and confidence. It's a little bit different kind of retirement confidence there. Maybe that's the 7th of the 6 steps. But you're going to have other things come up in life, besides the death of a spouse. You're going to have an unanticipated medical emergency that could derail your retirement and force you into living on less. So we actually build those kind of problems into our plans. We stress test the plans and make sure that your retirement will take the extra shock of any sudden large medical expenses, for example.
What do we do with our 401ks, Barry, before we retire if we're laid off or we're offered a buyout from our company? or we switch jobs, that issue of what we call portability.
Oh, well, you're dealing with the folks who sometimes show up in my office and they've got 10 401ks scattered at different employers all across the country, and it's a real mess. So here's the rule. When you leave your employer, you want to take your 401k with you and don't leave it behind. So what we help our clients do is we help our clients move their 401ks within about 30 days of separating from service. And we roll that money into their IRA or their Roth IRA account, whichever is appropriate, where they will have total 100% control, independent from their former employer. If you like this content, please follow and subscribe. And for more information, please look in the description below.